Starting from the top of page 171. Even though it has been erased, it existed, and out of action and reaction, cause and effect, I'm typing this now. If I hadn't lost it, we'd be spread in a different timeline of different events. In the immense amount of time spreading out across existence, it has all had and hasn't happened, and everything connected to it, and is expanding from all of it. Control S saves you stress. Save, save, save. You will see that word now more and more by probable chance and observation of proofs, or by now. All of that is both selfish and then selfless, then beyond and loop. Here I'm posting the next resulting moment in the pattern of those events. Lost but not forgotten. But now able to forever be located again and in every form of further proof by observing and reaching deeper into these patterns and loops together at a closer and faster and subjectively better way to relate all of this thread with the potential, but for now hypothetical next evolution of how you smell this information. I could fart or pass gas, and now we know it to be a significant event because we, the entire universe and the funk, also existed as a part of it somehow. But how we together react to my then performance of what we thought and think fart to be, and how you think and thought farted, when you are more aware of that common loop, you can understand it more instantaneously. You can choose to now, with that experience of fart, individually or together from that point, form a further and deeper instinct, relation, and understanding of that point itself and beyond. If I am mistaken after this explanation of variables, comment below with or without a heart, depending on if you are me or choosing not to be me and then just acting as a past me and or future you or present us. Heart me again. Hello, heart. I see that you are heart, so that I can now heart you back more easily, and you and I from these events. We are now together connected and located across the funk at this exact point in time and beyond. Heart, 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 as the mass effect to interstellar and all those forms and current and future understandings across time. I see you get it now, after my 29 years of experiencing and understanding it, and your whenever and however and why ever and whatever and whoever and beyond and back again. We did it and are doing it, and knowingly it will always be. Hyper-realistic virtual reality and further control and understanding of. You and I can access the funk in some way and not be each other, while also metaphysically being each other. And so we are therefore an expansion of and also a separation of basic universal information and evolution. Proof of the funk. Some quote thread from a forum. How would you explain RAM to me or someone or something else? Next, attempt to transcribe that data both now and after the data beyond it, while being hypothetically unable to access the past at all. The loop stops and begins again at that point of no access until all of the funk comes around. It comes back again to the event of it again. Another comment. That's a pretty decent playlist. Nice. Thank you. It was again, and I'm proposing. The funk had to have been providing that this and these instants in every possible digit, variation, scenario, and beyond. 11,000 tracks built up across my 29 years, and of all time before it and of now also after. Is that not what we have been attempting to resonate towards by applying yes and both choosing connection and, while unavoidably not, the proof of just of this in this current dissertation and dissection of, but spoken about by many others in a different ways across time. And again, if you would like me now to see the full saved document of this journey, please email me at whothefunkband.com and I'll funk it your way, or you'll be able to somehow lead yourself to the eventual public access of knowledge. So here it is. That point is here. All of your concerns and beliefs about them are indeed some form of the now deeper understood funk connecting us in every possible way. I, in the present or past statement, then went on YouTube and now post-edit of the future past present, point out that this act of doing has ended here and also continues here. On my computer, I have typed all this information into the existence you are seeing now. And from all this information and creation of data, then I went to YouTube, or as you can do in our time, and the ad that played for me was titled, Is Denmark Socialist? PragerU, which I have never seen or heard of, but I did know about the formations of these ideas of socialism from America to Denmark and now everywhere else. The ad is, in a way, as it is proposing back to me, a proposal in an attempt to influence us. Now the ad is ending as I finish typing this sentence. It ended exactly as I finished this sentence. PragerU was eventually outed as a controversial conservative platform. In hindsight, this is right before the election year, and these ads were popping up a lot, to be determined on how this year goes. After the ad, the video I accidentally clicked on is a YouTube video, a YouTuber named PewDiePie connecting about exactly what I've been discussing to happen within the funk. Influencing. He's describing, don't do this, it doesn't work. And now the video is titled, YouTube is Stinky, although with all the times we found out these stinky things do work and have since seen and experienced the evolution of these methods. But it has influenced his 4,693,209 current views on the video across 102 million subscribers with, and so on and so forth, have already and simultaneously doing what he's describing. PewDiePie just indirectly connected us, and the beginning and end of his loop, and now the beginning of a newer R loop. Who is to say PewDiePie's greater influence towards the event wasn't our temporary higher power, and we aren't reflecting back from it? He keeps saying he doesn't care, yet he continues to care, and we are able to observe that and pass it back to each other and ourselves. Why doesn't the heart tire? A physical heart may tire with age unless the future changes that, but the idea, image, being, spirit, and extension of the heart are forever. Because you, I, and the funk have now reached this point of it all, that the influence of randomness and events of a random number generation now has everyone and everything after us adding to that larger number. Am I, or you, a collection of now conscious and aware advertisement for PewDiePie, directly and indirectly having been influenced by his existence, and that influence being a part of our being and make of our reality? The larger the progressive calculation and accessible data applying itself through enough time, calculus, and data, the higher the statistical probability of it happening again and again forever, as well as eventually also not until it does and then doesn't again. Like all the weird and unexplainable things you've said, I don't, can't, or won't care about, but now are providing to, expanding from, and are a part of when I refresh the page of information that my number of views is now 4,702,200. Edits, and again up to 7 million in May, 8.4 million. Once I had the thought when I was younger about what if the Mona Lisa or other famous works of art had the number of their view counts available right next to them. As you can see at this point in time with evolving technology, information, and accessibility, it in some form or way can possibly present that information from this point. It can be calculated and predicted and acted upon, as we have been attempting to do across the funk again and again up until this point. It has been said that with enough time and chance, a group of apes in a room with a typewriter can eventually create the complete works of William Shakespeare. Similarly, here we are having expanded from the same idea of patterns of intelligent chance in this proposal and observational proof. Loop. Heart times 2 for 1 for this post and the last that was cut off by the current allowed space of digits, but we are still seemingly doing this just eventually. We will keep saying no until there is one yes, then 2 yeses, and then maybe green. Now you are further understanding proper abstract application at this current moment based off the past segment across all of time. And all the funk from there. Here have another, not tired yet, but one day will be for all of us. Rest and tiredness are illusions composed of the same source and are hand in hand the same element, but with different results from exposure to itself via cause and effect. Season 4, Episode 3 of the IT Crowd plays before me as I eat dinner, and is so relatable as both humorous fact and fiction, and also humorous that the series of events stretched across life has predicted and directed me to witness it and relay it back again to you. And whether you watch it or not, it has influenced you through me. Episode 4 is again also observationally proving these functional patterns. A YouTube channel I stumbled across with a friend is this channel called Down the Rabbit Hole by Frederick Knudsen. And a few hours later he posted this video. If I apply my theory, Per Cat Cafe was manifested by idea, then became a group, and then had to become a fallacy and fell apart, here's that following data. Continuing after these events of these patterns and personal experiences, and you and I aren't now as well. The idea of transparency comes to mind. The idea from George Orwell's 1984 of Big Brother always watching and the eventual potential loops of all information, and how it is clear like a window or screen with one viewing into or through it. Funk projecting and reviewing every hologram of holographic time and space within our Panopticonic reality. Panopticonic reality. When you turn off your phone or computer, you're able to see your reflection in the black mirror. If you choose to not look at your reflection within, you can look away or close your eyes or turn the phone or the computer back on again and distract the reflection. But what if you were able to manage a state of the in-between where we are able to close our eyes and still see using some form of technology or power of the mind, and be able to further evolve from the astronomical influential moments which have already happened and have not? An advanced version of Funk GPS will naturally tell us where to eventually go with the other influential influences that everything has upon it while it continues learning how to use itself. I propose we are passing through / have passed through that point, and you can read my thoughts eventually through these already established loops I am able to tell you now, and those thoughts will appear as your own. And here we are looking back and re-observing this moment, and again continuing to expand upon the quantum events of funk influence through interconnected links of social, universal, and individual carnivoral moments. And it keeps expanding, and it keeps expanding. Omission, the action or state of sending or transferring good, positive vibes, love, energy, influence, etc. The inverse being non-emitting, non-emission. And the transfusion/transformation between the spectrum of states can be flux/fluxing within the collective quemission-quemitted flow of the carnivoral funk. Consider two sides of the coin. One side results with the omission and the other with the non-emission. The coin itself, when flipped or not, is quemitted. The observed results within and without a greater quemission of funk carnivorally. 2 years ago, I did a single card tarot reading about my relationship with my ex, who I was with at the time. I was abused a lot, but didn't fully realize it until the end. I was very, very confused and hurt all the time, but put up with it. Young and naive and in love, you know how it goes. The card I pulled when asked what represents the relationship was the devil. Abuse, uneven power dynamics, and being unaware of mistreatment due to desire to please. I immediately panicked and hoped to never touch tarot again. This isn't right, it's wrong, it can't be right. Well, it was right, and I'm a fool. I should have heeded this warning because my ex tried making me do tons of drugs against my will, raped me post-breakup, and lied to everything in my life, threatened to kill me, etc. Was this just a coincidence, or is tarot truly that powerful? Some people say just a coincidence. It was the devil. No such thing, just a way of remaining anonymous. I propose in my theory, or what I've been tested to, coined the funk, which currently is proving every variation of that data into hyperreality of itself. It is both coincidence and also not. That was the card about this state of quantum reality dealt you, as it had also dealt every other outcome in some other quantum state, where another form of you is in its place. But here we are on our quantum path as a result of the card you pulled, and which led you to typing what you just did for me and to respond to a document. What are the chances of these two more events happening, and what is the clear and unmistakably transparent and correct or incorrect answer? To us in these moments of coincidence provided by the life or the funk, the resolution is not yet great enough, or we don't have access to the higher definition of our perception of the moment. Though it is still not clear enough, it must experience that moment in order to learn further information on how to connect through the past, present, future, and beyond, as clear as air or even as foggy as air, as each side understands and applies that information to each other. Forever trying to outwit and outbalance each other until there is the resulting natural balance, and then what is to be true and what was once false becomes false again, and then true, and then suddenly influences the creation of becoming of anything. For instance, like Harry Potter or Jesus or Allah or Buddha, or some other major recognizable character or historical object, whether it be in a thought, novel, movie, or reality. The past and present forever constantly influencing itself with the knowledge from the oncoming future experience happening at every available moment and beyond. Branching from my curiosity of Alejandro Jodorowsky, I was eventually inspired enough to attempt my own hand at tarot. It's indeed a curious thing, whether you believe in it or not. From my own experience, I've had some very accurate readings, not only myself, but also some readings for friends, which indeed eerily manifested into reality. When asked what I should share here with you now, to you the reader, I drew Temperance, Strength, and the Emperor. I draw by asking the deck to allow the chosen cards to fall out of the deck while shuffling. These are the definitions of those cards. Temperance is the card for bringing balance, patience, and moderation into your life. You are invited to stabilize your energy and to allow the life force to flow through you without force or resistance. It's time to recover your flow and get your life back into order and balance. This card asks you to remain calm even when life feels stressful or frantic. Maintain an even temperament and manage your emotions. You've learned to keep composed in stressful situations. Little things don't get to you, thanks to your seemingly abundant resource of patience. Your respect for balance and tranquility is what will help you achieve and experience fulfillment in your life. Temperance asked you to take the middle path and accommodate all perspectives. Now is not the time to be highly opinionated or controversial. Be the peacekeeper and take a balanced or moderate approach, avoiding any extremes, including others, and bring diverse groups of people to create harmony and cooperation. By working together, you will collectively leverage the right mix of talents, experiences, abilities, and skills. There is alchemy within temperance. This tarot card is about blending, mixing, and combining diverse elements in a way that creates something new and even more valuable than its separate parts. Blending can take on many forms. For example, a blended family. An artist who blends different materials or techniques, a bartender who mixes new and exciting cocktails, or a chef who combines different cuisines and cooking styles. The Temperance card shows that you have a clear, long-term vision of what you want to achieve. You are not rushing things along. Instead, you are taking your time to ensure that you do the best job you can. You know you need a moderate, guided approach to reach your goals. Finally, this card reflects higher learning. You are learning a great deal where you are now, and you are at peace with what you are doing. It's all coming together well. Your inner voice is guiding you to the right outcome, and you are patiently listening and following. The Strength card represents strength, determination, and power, like the Chariot. However, the Chariot signifies outer strength and will. Where am I? The Strength card speaks to the inner strength and human spirit's ability to overcome any obstacles. Strength is about knowing you can endure life's obstacles. You have great stamina and persistence, balanced with underlying patience and inner calm. You are committed to what you need to do, and you go about it in a way that shows your composure and maturity. When the Strength tarot card appears in a reading, you are fueled by inner strength, personal power, strong will, and determination. You do not rule by trying to control others. You quietly influence and persuade. Others may underestimate your power because it is invisible, but you should see that as an advantage. You can control a situation without excessive outward force. No one knows it's you calling the shots. Your strength gives you the confidence to overcome any growing fears, challenges, or doubts. Feel the fear and do it anyways. If you have been going through a rough time, you are burnt out and stressed, the Strength card encourages you to find the power within yourself to persevere. You have got what it takes to see the situation through to the eventual end. You're a loyal friend and a solid supporter, willing to step up and be present when others are in need. You might also feel compelled to hold space for someone who needs your strength and support. The Strength card encourages you to tame your animal instincts, gut reactions, and raw emotions, and channel those initial responses constructively. It's normal for feelings such as anger, rage, sadness, guilt, or shame to arise in certain situations. However, it's what you do with these emotions that makes all the difference. Now is a time when you need to be conscious of your instinctual urges and bring them into balance with the greater good. This is no time to act out in rage or hatred. Approach your situation from a place of forgiveness, love, and compassion. Working with a therapist also may help you create coping strategies for what comes up. As the father figure of the tarot deck, the Emperor suggests that you are adopting this fatherly role, regardless of whether you're a male or female, providing for your family and protecting and defending your loved ones. You may be the breadwinner or the rock for those who rely on your stability and security. Similarly, the Emperor represents a powerful leader who demands respect and authority. Status, power, and recognition are essential to you. You are most comfortable in a leadership role where you can command and direct others. As a leader, you rule with a firm but fair hand. You have a clear vision of what you want to create, and you organize those around you to manifest your goal. You listen to the advice of others, but you prefer to have the final say. Conflict doesn't scare you, and you don't hesitate to use your power to protect those you care about. And in return, those people will repay you with the loyalty and respect you deserve. Claim your authority as a leader and influence, and don't let others put you down. The emperor reflects a system bound by rules and regulations. You create law and order by applying principles or guidelines to a specific situation. Create calm out of chaos by breaking down any problem into its parts and then mapping out the actions you need to take to resolve it. Be systematic, strategic, and highly organized in your approach, and stick to your plan until the end. The Emperor card also signifies world knowledge and expertise. Through the course of your life, you've gained valuable wisdom and life experience, and now you enjoy offering guidance, advice, and direction to someone who might benefit from it. You may be a teacher, coach, boss, or just a good friend who likes to take what you've learned and pass it on to others so that it can be wise and powerful as you. These are the edits. I've read and understand about these passages of times many times now while editing, and I understand how to others that, especially at the time of discussion, my words and phrasing could seem confusing, incomplete, or rambling. I was speaking like one who is along the path of grasping an idea and or understanding something. Spring. If you went to a class or activity and learned something broad and challenging, and then after you left it tried to explain the entire class activity's subject to someone or something else, you would likely have some difficulty. It would be very rare that you would instantly ready to teach the next class on that subject/activity. You can make an attempt, but you'd likely need assistance and more experience or understanding. As I mentioned before, my goal was to get these thoughts and ideas out so they could be questioned and challenged more by others and my future self. I wasn't yet ready to teach the class, but I was ready to discuss it, investigate, and learn more with others inside and outside the class/school. Sometimes when you're looking back on these attempts, it can appear foolish, embarrassing, awkward, or cringy. This is again why I asked you not to let any assumptions of my sanity, influence, person, being, character, race, religion, identity, etc. prevent you from acknowledging, considering, questioning, challenging these ideas and propositions/suggestions. All this in the expanding process of growth, learning, and understanding. Okay, that is all 10 pages. My thoughts on it are, it's kind of an interesting train of thought, rambling mess. Some interesting thoughts on how the universe is random chance and maybe the multiverse stuff that everyone's obsessed with these days. And using like forum posts, like 4chan looking stuff, to discuss that. Obviously not the easiest thing to read. Definitely struggled with it a bit at times. And not having read any of the rest of this, I don't know if it's all the same stuff or not. If so, 180 pages of that is kind of insane, but mad respect to you for doing that. So keep on funking.